if you've recently hired an injector and watched their schedule stay wide open way too long, or maybe you've got this killer team, but somewhere along the way, you are seeing, Botox and filler gaps in appointments that just aren't being filled. And let's be honest, guys, the injector's hourly wage is the most expensive in the building, likely, right? And it's just way too high of cost for that to be acceptable. So today, what I want to talk about is, whether you are launching a new injector, filling in gaps, or maybe you're scaling to that next location, right? This is where I'm going to be able to share with you strategies in order to be able to fill up that injectable schedule. We're going to be talking about how to rank and get those organic leads and appointments in your market, how to attract really that high intent injectable patient that's ready to spend with you and hopefully not just be like, oh, just give me my 20 units and don't talk to me about anything else and I never see you again, right? We not only want to get those new patients in, but we want to rebook, retain those clients like clockwork, right? Not the ones and the dones, but really to get that lifelong patient in the door. So I'm going to be sharing tactical, profitable, and repeatable strategies, right? And these strategies really can not only be applied for injectables, but really any specific treatment or service that you want to dominate in, that you want to scale with. And the great part of what I'm going to be sharing with you is that most of these strategies that I'm sharing are free. They're free to do. They also can be, some of them automated. Some of them are easily repeatable once you set them up once and build them right. And some will continue to work for you forever. So everything I'm going to be sharing with you today is absolutely worthwhile. So let's dive right in. The very first thing that I want to talk about is your website and SEO. Too often I see where aesthetic practices just are worried about their beautiful website, which it being aesthetically pleasing is very important, but it's not optimized for mobile and SEO. So let's break down a few things that you absolutely need to make sure is happening on your website so that you are ranking when people are searching for Botox and filler in your local market. So the very first thing that you want to make sure is that you show up in that local map pack. Okay, you want to be in that top 3 in that local map pack on Google Maps. This is so important. So how do you do that? How do you achieve that? First, you got to optimize your Google My Business profile. And the way to do that is to add and stuff in keywords in your profile and also in the reviews. This is so powerful. So for example, when someone leaves you a review, and it can be it for anything, you can respond to that review and you can thank them for leaving a review. And then you can add in keywords, right? Like, thanks for helping us be known for being the best Botox in Oklahoma City, right? So it's not that you are saying that they got that treatment, right, and violating HIPAA or anything like that, but in essence, you're just replying and kind of using like marketing and taglines to stuff in those keywords that is going to help you to show up, to rank for that when people are searching for Botox in your specific city. The next thing is that you want to add content and pictures into your Google My Business profile. This is something that is so often overlooked and automatically included in our organic social media content and services we provide clients. because so many people only focus on, the big ones, Facebook and Instagram, which are obviously very important. But you already have that great content that you're putting out on social. Make sure that you add it to your Google My Business profile as well. And when you are adding those before and after pictures, make sure that you geotag those pictures. Again, it's going to work better for you when you're already in there adding that content. The next thing is you want to make sure that you're separating your injectable pages. The worst thing is when you have all your services on just one page, but even with your injectables, you don't want to put Botox and filler on the same page, right? You want to separate those out. You want to have, your neurotoxin separate from your filler. And then also, as time goes on and you've really optimized your website, the next level is to, separate by, lip, not just every filler, but also do a lip. Like if you want to be known for lips, have a separate lip page. And you can organize it in a way that it's not too cluttered and it's on the back end and whatnot, so that your website is still very user friendly. But the more specific you can get with those pages and those keywords is going to help you rank higher in those high intent keyword searches. And that is wildly important. That goes to say as well is that when you are building that page, the back end's got to be set up correctly. I have a tool on my computer where in my header, I can click on this SEO detailed extension app. And so on any website, you can just click that button and it shows me what your meta descriptions and your title pages and your H1s look like. And so I can quickly see if you have the proper title pages and meta descriptions. And again, this is all too common for us to see that it's just not properly being set up. So you can have the most beautiful website and it's not going to do crap for you unless someone exactly types in your URL, which is not really going to help you generate new patients because they already were going to choose you anyway. So if you want new patients, you have to optimize your website for mobile and SEO and make sure those meta descriptions, those keywords have that local plus high intent keywords that you are after trying to rank for. For example, best Botox in Oklahoma City for forehead lines, right? So you have the service, you have the city, you have the area in which they're looking for. Do you see? It's just not as simple as having a Botox page, right? It's just not as simple as, saying best Botox or even best Botox in a city, right? You want to take it one step further, and that's really going to help you convert more or win more of those searches and to rank yourself higher. Now let's talk about blogs, right? I don't want you to just be a box checker when it comes to creating blog content. Oftentimes I look at blogs, they're very short and they're not really addressing too much, right? You want to address all of the common questions and FAQs around the specific service, right? And you want to use long tail keywords addressing all of those FAQs, and that's really going to help for your content to be searchable, right? And you will also want to interlink that into other pages in your site. It literally is the smallest little things that's going to make all the difference in your blog and your SEO efforts to actually pay off. And this is where I see people that either aren't doing it, are doing it themselves, or paying someone just a couple $100 that really isn't serving them at the end of the day. So if you're going to do it right, go big or go home. And you think about the attribution or lifetime value of what a new patient is, and it's absolutely worth it at the end of the day. Now we move on to backlinks. So this is where you want to get really quality backlinks, like by submitting stuff to Real Self, Health Grades. You want to optimize your Allergan profile. So many people don't even optimize their Allergan profile, and they're wondering why they're not getting Botox clients, right? It's really important for you to do these little things and earn these great quality backlinks to help drive more traffic to your website. So when people are searching for Botox or filler in your city, that you're going to show up. You want to collaborate with other influencers and beauty bloggers. This is going to help you to utilize their audience and their traffic to get attention to your brand and your website. Also, you're taking the time to take those great before and after photos. You want to use those. You want to use those everywhere, including your website. But you don't want to just embed those reviews or testimonials, right? But you also want to make sure that in your before and after gallery that you are making sure that you add like keyword rich captions to it. And that's why we're so adamant about when we get those before and after pictures, we want to know, what products you used, how many syringes, right? Like it's really important that you are specific and that keyword rich caption around those before and after pictures. All right. So those are the big takeaways around SEO and website, which is really important for those high intent people that are ready to purchase right now and capturing your unfair share there. Now let's transition to some other marketing strategies. And let's start with Facebook and Instagram, paid ads and organic social media. And I'm going to loop in Juliana here, one of our marketing gurus when it comes to organic social media and paid ads. And share with us, Juliana, what you believe is really the difference between those that get great results when it comes to social, paid, and organic, and those that are like, I tried it and it didn't work.
Yeah. It's funny. One of the most important is definitely scroll stopping videos, really high quality content, especially when it comes to organic, right? And so it's more than just showing a photo of a Botox bottle, right? And checking the box and posting it, kind of like what we were talking about with blogs, right? Where you're just checking the box. You have to really show up. You have to educate. You have to talk to people about what you're doing, what your injector's doing, right? Because I know everyone is like, I just want your skin, right? How many units do I need to get your skin? And when the injector can show up and not only educate, but also be willing to share personally what their own regimen looks like, I know that that is very powerful as well. So really building their own authority. When it comes to paid ads, now you always want to make sure you're targeting women 25 to 55 years old. And you want to make sure that it's local, right? And the magic, the secret sauce, I guess, to those is when they're both working together, right? So when someone is scrolling late at night on Facebook and they see a Botox ad and they want to claim it, they want to schedule it, the first place they're going to go is your profiles to check out your social proof, to see their frequently asked questions are being answered, right? And so when you can hit them over the head with frequency, education, frequently asked questions, and before and afters and testimonials, then they're a lot more likely to say, yes, I want to book that appointment. So when we're marrying all of those strategies together, and same, all of the advice that you had given on the website, right? So if they're going to look at another place for authority, the next place they're going to go is that site. When everything's working together, that is really when we see the really good result from Botox campaigns.
You're so right, because listen, guys, there's only so many ways to skin a cat to promote Botox and fillers, right? And so it's always interesting when a client is maybe like frustrated, or they're like, oh, I tried it and it didn't work, right? And time again, it comes down to they either had a brand new page or a page that had like no content, no audience, no followers, no engagement. We could literally run the exact same offer, maybe even in like very similar markets or areas, right? And one will dominate and the others will be like, it was okay, right? And a lot of it has to do with the authority, credibility, likability of that practice. And so that's why we're so passionate about making sure that you're utilizing all your tools in your tool belt, and not just expecting like a service at a price to get you the high quality patients and the volume of patients that you're really looking for. And I'm going to circle back to that in the sense of just the extreme importance of utilizing all the tools in your tool belt to really get the result that you're after, because research does show that every platform that you're on and that you utilize, you're going to get a 20% increase in conversion and results because of that compounding effect, because you are surrounding your audience, those leads, those patients at the end of the day. So thank you, Juliana, for sharing that. I couldn't agree more. Now let's move on to two of my really actually favorite forms of marketing that is literally free to very, very low cost, which is email and text campaigns. You guys, your database, your lead list, those contacts in your database is something that you own 100% outright. So imagine if Google went down, if Facebook went down, if Instagram went down, which, guys, it happens every once in a while, right? Look what happened for a hot second with TikTok, and we still don't know what's going to happen with that, right? And so you own this database and you constantly need to be nurturing it, tapping into it, scrubbing it, because it's such low-hanging fruit that when you look at, pennies in and dollars out, gives you a huge return on investment. So the key with email and texting is that you need to stay consistent with it, and you need to track what the data tells you in the frequency that you should be reaching out to people, right? So email has a higher tolerance than text message, right? And a lot of things that I love too about email and text is that once you create it once, you can create workflows and you can send the exact same texts and emails based on what, sequence you're in or season you're in or promo or holiday, and use them year after year. That will continue to work for you. So the email and text is absolutely one of those things that is worth setting up workflows so that it can consistently work for you week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. And the key is to make sure that you have really engaging subject lines, that you have strong call to actions. I've heard people say, oh, I've tried it and it didn't work, but they weren't offering value. They weren't offering expertise. They weren't storytellers. They were either trying to take, right, and not give, or vice versa. So it needs to be a give and a take, right? But most of the time you want to give when it comes to email and text. And then when you come around with an offer or an event, then they are happy to give to you as well. Now let's move on to launching a referral program. Now, this is, again, one of those things is, guys, once you set it up, it will continue to work for you for forever in essence. So it's absolutely worth it. But it's one of those things that, again, you can't just check the box, right? Launch it once, push hard for a week, maybe a month, and then stop talking about it. You need to be talking about it with your team. Maybe it's a KPI or a benchmark. You need to market it. It could be at the footer of your email newsletter, right? It could be a link in your link tree on your website, signs in your bathroom, in your treatment rooms, right? Don't do this half-assed, right? You got to check all the boxes, and then you got to show up with consistency and frequency, and you will get referrals, right? And you want to honor both the person that's referring you the new patient and also the new patient coming in. So it's a win-win for everyone, because when you look at what the cost per acquisition is for marketing, these referral programs is absolutely worth it. So, and that's something that your consultant that you work with here at Diamond Accelerator could absolutely help you to build out that referral program and build that SOP and training and how to launch and sustain it successfully. And again, that will continue to work for you. Another thing is to get listed on industry directories, right? So, of course, make sure that you're in Real Self, right? You're updating your Yelp, your Google Map profile, add your location, what services you do, reviews, keep fresh photos on there. It's a really easy, important thing to do. Okay. You can also, there are different software programs that can help like automate those different directories to keep those fresh and clean, but that's really going to help you as well. The next one is hosting free consult days and or events. I want to loop Juliana back into this one as well, because boy, we have a number of clients that she works with that is generating so like thousands, tens of thousands of dollars every single month by this one strategy that I'd love for you to share.
Yeah, thanks, Caitlin. I love this strategy because it not only allows for us to just book back to back with Botox, right? Or Dysport offers, but when injectors are properly trained, it turns into so much more money because they're doing the full consult, right? They're recommending adding fillers of syringes and really maximizing the most out of this day, right? So what we do is we open up the calendar for some call it Dysport Day. It could be Botox Day at your office. Tox Day, like Tox Thursday or Tuesday is also a good one that we've seen success with. And basically, we offer a really good per unit deal for that day only. And we run an advertisement on it specific, only like a week ahead of time, right? We make it very fast. So it feels like very urgent to the person who sees it. It doesn't come around often. It's not a standing offer. In fact, really, we don't like to advertise it for more than 5 days because it only takes 5 days to completely book up that calendar for multiple injectors back to back to back with 15-minute, consultations and treatments. We will bring in, local partners. So like pop-up jewelry shops or other kind of partners who you can all kind of share engagement with on social media, all go live together. There's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate your community to get even more out of it. But typically I see at least $10,000 coming in from a normal day like this. I like to do anywhere from $3 to $4 a unit if we're doing Dysport. But the secret sauce of this, I guess we could say again, is talking to your reps, because when your rep can support you and your rep can get you a good deal, you can make so much more profit off of a single day with their help.
Absolutely. And one thing, Juliana, that you're so great about, and that is also such an important key when you do this type of strategy with your clients, is that you really coach and talk to them about, listen, you are going to get traffic through that door. And it may be a little bit overwhelming because you're moving so quickly, you're seeing so many patients. But I really want you to stop and take a breath and make sure that you're really taking the opportunity to its fullest extent and not just like shooting 20 units here, 40 units there and moving them along, right? The reason where this is most successful is when the injectors really take a breath and recommend comprehensive treatment plans, right? Do full facial rebalancing, not just focusing on, because you'll have a few people come in that are like, just give me my 20 units or 40 units, right? But if you do it right, you should converting these people that thought that they were just going to spend a couple $100s that day, walking out with full facial rebalancing, plus skincare products, plus an appointment in a couple weeks for a laser treatment, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And we love to help and, support our injectors by having what we call like back pocket deals, right? So because you came into our Dysport day today and, you did the full consultation and you're purchasing all 50 units, which is our minimum required, I can offer you this deal on 2 syringes as well, right? So it really makes the client feel, or the patient feel, like they're getting a really screaming deal out of everything, but really you're making a lot of profit in terms of everything that you're selling that day.
That's absolutely true, that you have to orchestrate that patient experience in advance, right? Because it is going to be very fast moving and can be overwhelming. So if you're not talking about it with your staff beforehand and making it super easy for them, it is going to turn into something transactional and you're going to be like, wasn't worth the squeeze, right? But when you orchestrate where you want patients to land, they're going to do what you ask them to do. It's this beautiful thing.
Exactly.
All right, so let's move on to collaborating with other local businesses. So, Abby, one of our consultants, she is a big believer in working with your chambers and other like businesses that share your same target demographic, but are obviously not your competitors. So, who are those businesses? Hair salons, lash techs, bridal shops. Interior decorators is one of my favorite ones because those people work with women that have money, right? And that will pay for the best and pay for results. So interior designers is definitely one of my favorite ones. Now, what you want to do with them is, again, just remember that you have shared audiences. So you want to share your audience with them and vice versa. And sometimes it's never really this equal thing. You know, someone may have better audience, but not really much to give. Others can, if you're a newer med spa, you can give products, services, treatments, but maybe you don't have as much audience to give, right? So that's okay. It's a give and take, and you want to contribute, whether it's your time, your talent, or your finances, right? To be able to collaborate in your community and help one another. In the beginning of this strategy, you got to be a giver, right? You got to give, and help other businesses generally, and then comes them helping you. So this is a longer term strategy, but really pays off when you're able to build those strong relationships. Juliana also loves to do combination organic strategies of contesting, like, follow, engage, comment between multiple businesses on social media. And that's a really successful thing to do as well. And once you set that up once and it goes off, like, do it once a year, right? And switch up who those partners are a couple times a year, and you'll really see growth in your engagement and your audience size as well. And we know when that happens on the organic side, it's going to make your paid ads work that much better. Okay, just a couple others left, and I'm going to loop in MJ here because she is a huge proponent in Med Assist with other departments. Share with us about that, MJ.
Yes, I love med assisting. So if you have any providers or team members that may, have a hole in their schedule or any type of downtime, I always encourage my clients to have them med assist each other. So for example, if you're an esthetician or a laser tech, and you have a little bit of downtime, pop in with your injector. If she's doing a sculptor treatment, shake that vial for her. Really, the goal of this here is to introduce yourself to patients that you may not know. It's really like a warm introduction, a warm handoff, and then you guys can kind of tag team that appointment and that consultation to really educate that patient. It does a lot of things. It helps your team members collaborate a little bit better, learn each other's verbiage. Like if you're an esthetician, learn your injector's verbiage, what she likes, what she pushes, and vice versa. But it also helps cross promote different areas of your practice. It's a fantastic way to fill in those gaps.
Yeah, absolutely. We never believe that an injector should be running to Starbucks or just twiddling their thumbs checking Instagram, right? There is always something that they could be doing. And med assisting is absolutely one of our favorite ones to drive more business to their schedule. MJ is also one of our membership and package gurus here. Talk about strategies around memberships and packages to really drive more appointments and more revenue per hour when it comes to injectables, MJ.
Yeah, absolutely. So studies show that members end up spending 3 times more than non-members. So it's really worth that extra 5 to 10 minutes to really explain thoroughly your membership and packages. When it comes to memberships, the goal is very straightforward. We want to promote loyalty. We talk about this all the time, that med spa hopping is up by 36%. So that means that someone is getting their facials done at one practice, maybe their lips done at another, but they're loyal to their injector and they get Botox, with that injector that they're loyal to with neurotoxin. So really taking that extra 5 to 10 minutes to describe and really tell all the benefits of your membership is crucial, because they end up spending 3 times more. The benefit of packaging packages and memberships is it really helps alleviate the financial burden of some of these services. So in a lot of my trainings with providers, I tell them if cost is an objection, use that verbiage. We want to help alleviate this financial burden of these services so that you can reach your aesthetic goals. The way that we can do that for you is through the discount that you get in this package or the discounts that you get in this membership. So it really helps increase client retention. It really, like I said, helps take off that financial burden. And it's really helpful to get those repeat visits, and your patients will get their aesthetic results if they're on the membership. Their skin is going to change, and we want to change with it while they're taking advantage of these services.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Thank you, MJ. Such good stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for questions at this time. So go ahead and add them into the chat. I know we have a few already that we can dive right into. So the first one is, okay, you've shared a lot of strategies. What's the one thing that I should do? And here's the reality, guys, is that the med spa market is so competitive. And then you look at Botox and filler in particular, and like it's on steroids, right? And so if you want to get your unfair share, if you want to be the leader in the marketplace, you have to do all of these things. I would be doing a disservice if I was like, don't worry about, the 10 things that I shared with you, just do one or two. Now, I will tell you is that just get a game plan and try to do one per month. And because again, so many of these things is once you do it once you build it once you create a workflow, it will continue to work for you for the rest of the life of your business. Now, some of these things like SEO particularly, that is a skill set that you're likely going to need a professional to do for you. If you would like us to provide a free SEO audit for your website, we would be happy to do that. But the vast majority of these things that we talked about today is you just need to create systems and SOPs around and workflows and show up and do them consistently. So guys, I love to say just choose one or two things or do this one thing and you're going to be the top in the market, or you're going to fill up your schedule to its entirety, but it's just not reality. So get a plan of action and be like, this week or this month, I'm going to hold myself accountable for implementing X. And then in the next month, add the next thing to it. Next question. How do you pick topics that are more, actually, Juliana, I'm going to let you answer this question. How do you pick topics that are more engaging than the rest for organic social media?
It's a great question. It's a loaded one, right? And so first is you got to be a student of the game. You got to be following what's trending, seeing what other people are talking about. I mean, like really seeing, for example, the Barbie doll trend, right? Like everyone was hopping on that in the aesthetics industry. And that came from, everyone just really following each other. So follow those idols that you have, those, med spas that are really, really big that you want to one day be like. And I don't want to say copy, but use them as inspiration, I'll say. The next one is looking at your data, right? So take time at the end of every week to go in and see what your Instagram insights are telling you. What are your most liked posts? What are your most engaged with posts, right? That will tell you what your audience wants to see. It also helps checking into who, what age group is following you most. Do you have more females or do you have more males? Like all of that information will help you craft more engaging content for that person. And the next step is, I tell everyone this, is when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right? So get really clear on who that dreamy, juicy patient is that you want to attract through your organic content and speak to them. Speak to that one person. And I promise everyone else will fall in line and will come because they trust you more. But when you're just speaking to the whole crowd, you end up losing a lot more than you attract.
Yeah, those dabblers. Dabbling never works, guys. Figure out what is authentically you, right? Like, listen, my team has asked me so many times to get on and shake my booty and do like the trending reels. It is not authentically me. Okay. That is only like 3 drinks in Caitlin. Okay. That is not Caitlin every day that shows up for work. And so I am about, authority, educational content, giving value, right? For some med spas out there, listen, I follow those girls that shake their booties on TikTok, and whatnot. I love it, right? But that's not me. That works for them. And there's others that are all about their social proof, or it's all about their advanced training, or maybe their ultrasound technology, that they're the trainer of the trainer. So you got to figure out who you want to serve, and then what is authentically you, so that you can show up every day. That's why people fail in organic social media, because they are spraying and praying, right? And then they're like, well, I tried it for a month and it didn't work. You have to show up every day, like for years. And if you get lucky, maybe it starts generating you something in a couple months or a year, right? But sometimes it literally can take years, but it's absolutely worthwhile at the end of the day. Next question, about interior designers and high-end realtors. Yes, those are great people to target. What are ways to get a hold of them? So there are a lot of local Facebook groups that you can get into, and also just doing searches in your area and seeing who's ranking when you do that search, right? Go to the realtors are so good about having their own social channels, and you can see what their audience is. You can see like what they're wearing, what their lifestyle is, who they're trying to talk to. Realtors are so good about that, right? Are they speaking to the professional? Are they speaking to the family? So you can see if that matches up with your audience, and then DM them, call them, talk to them, right? And then how you can incorporate that interior designer or realtor in their event, because a lot of times they might not have an office, but what you could do is do that co-event together and utilize their database, their contacts. Realtors are so good about sending out direct mail. And wouldn't it be great if your logo and maybe services that you offer is on that direct mail piece or that email newsletter that they send out? And so you could invite them to attend their event. Some of them have their own spaces and do their own events, and you could be a part of that and contribute with raffle prizes and services, right? They love those kind of things. Also, if you have a high-end interior designer or a realtor, and you know what they like, if they are only working with people that are buying $500,000 plus homes or $1 million plus homes or whatever, or they're doing projects that again are like at that luxury target threshold that you are after, give them something to give every single one of their clients when they finish a deal or close a big project out with them, because those type of people are very giving in the sense of when you give them something, then they give you something, right? They're not going to just come in, get the free hydrofacial and leave, right? That's like free money to them. So they're going to go and spend more, right? That's why gift cards work so great, because again, it's like, it's free money that I was going to spend anyway. So now I'm going to spend that much more. So that's a great way to engage with those interior designers and realtors. All right, guys, great questions. And again, at the end of the day, you need to do all of these things. You really do. But come up with a game plan and then hold yourself accountable to just incremental improvements and optimizations in your total marketing system. And before you know it, you're going to have all, 12, 13 things that I just shared with you today, and you are going to dominate the injectable market at the end of the day. So thank you so much for joining us live. Great questions and engagement. Appreciate you showing up. And if you love this training, make sure you share it with your team, guys, or someone else that could benefit. And you can catch the replay on our YouTube channel and catch us live every single Wednesday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and here on Zoom. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome day.